Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new here. Thank you for joining me today. So today is a completely different video for me. As you'll know by the title, it's a health update, kind of what's been happening with my health over the last couple of months. So you may be aware, if you watch my channel regularly, that I did get COVID. I've had COVID before. I had it the previous year as well, but this time was worse than the previous time. So I got that. I was really ill from it. So I got that and I was really ill from it. And then once I'd gotten over it, I'd done like numerous tests just to make sure I'd gotten over it. Once I'd gotten over it, I noticed. So once I'd gotten over it, I'd noticed that the right nostril here was all bunged up, like all congested. I couldn't blow my nose or anything like that, and it constantly sounded like I had a cold. So I put up with it for about 4 or 5 weeks, and then I'd just had enough. I'd had enough of waking up, feeling absolutely shattered just because I couldn't sleep, you know. I was really struggling to breathe. So yeah, I went to the doctors. I saw a physician's associate, which I'd never heard of at all at that point. Saw her and her colleague, and she said that it was most likely probably long COVID. And I'm like, oh great. And she's like, what we'll do is we'll give you a nasal steroid spray for your nose, and hopefully that will clear it up, but if it doesn't, you'll need to go and see a long COVID specialist. And I said, right, okay. So I tried it for, she told me to try it for 2 weeks. I tried it for 3 weeks, and then I booked another appointment to go and see the doctor again because I just wasn't getting any better. I'm still no better now. And then I saw another trainee doctor. So this doctor seemed to know more about my symptoms. He really spoke to me and listened to what I was going through, which I'm really appreciative for. And at the end of it, he said, I am concerned. I'm concerned because obviously your right ear is blocked. And he looked inside the ear and he couldn't see any wax or anything like that. And also your right nose is blocked. And I'm like, right, okay. And at this point he didn't tell me anything, otherwise I probably would have freaked out there. He said, what I'm going to do is book you into the specialist. I said, will it be an ear, nose and throat specialist? And he said, yes. I said, so it's not a long COVID specialist? And he said, not at this point, no. He said, I'm really concerned about your nose and your ear. I said, okay. I said, so when do you think it will be? Will I be waiting a while? Because I'd waited so long, I was starting to get frustrated. And he said, oh no, you won't be waiting long. He said, I'm going to do it under the 2-week rule. And I said, 2-week rule? And he said, yeah. He said, you will get a letter. Don't panic. It is going to say cancer on it. He said, I want them to test you for nasal and sinus cancer. And I'm like, nearly crying in the surgery, because I've had other cancer scares in the past. I've not really spoke about them on the channel, but I have had other cancer scares in the past, and there was cancer in the family. So I was really panicking about that. And then, so I went away from the surgery, and then I was expecting to go to the ENT in 2 weeks. They fitted me in within the week, so I was starting to panic about that. So now I'll go into what happened in the ENT. So if you've got any of these symptoms, go to your doctor straight away. My symptoms was, I mean, the problem with my symptoms is they was alongside COVID, so I didn't feel like there was a big deal. I felt like it was just something to do with long COVID, like the doctor said when I first went. So anyway, I went to see the ENT. What they do is they put a strip of tape down your arm. I've got the footage, so I'll link it in the video. So they put a strip of tape down your arm. That was a sister, so like kind of a senior nurse. She took me into a private room, put the tape down my arm, and then there was about 10 little droplets of things she wanted to see if I had any allergic reactions to. So she put histamine in. Everyone's got histamine in the body, so she said you probably get a reaction to that, but we're wanting to see if you've got any other reactions to your environment. maybe you're allergic to something and that's why you're getting the problem with your nose. I said, yeah, but would that not be in both sides? I'm only getting it in one side. And she looked at me, she looked concerned as well. So anyway, once she'd done that with the arm, I had to wait outside for 20 minutes, and then 20 minutes later a different nurse came and looked at it and said, yeah, you've only got a small bump for the histamine, which is to be expected. You've got no allergic reactions to anything, so you've got no allergies. And I thought, right, well, at least that's ruled out. So then what happened, I waited about an hour. I was there for like 2.5 hours in total. I was there for a long period of time. So then I got called in to see the ENT specialist, and the same nurse that told me I had no allergies was in the office as well. So I got on the chair and nearly fell off it. Luckily she was there actually, because she kind of caught me and went, are you alright? I was really nervous. So I just explained, like he said to me, are you okay? And I said, I'm really nervous. I said, I know you test me for sinus and nasal cancer. And he said, yeah, your doctor is worried about that. He said, but there could be other things why you're getting the symptoms of nasal and sinus cancer. And I said, right, okay. So I started to relax a little bit there. He said, what I need to do is I need to look up your nose. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And he brought this great big thing out. I've got the letter. The letter came today actually of what he sent to my doctor. Let me tell you what he did. On examination, the left side of her nose was normal. On the right side, flexible nasondoscopy. So it's called a flexible nasondoscopy. I don't think I've said that the right thing, but it's basically a great big wire, I think, with a camera on. And then obviously to the side of it, it's almost like, do you know when you go for a scan for when you're pregnant, but it like goes up your nose? So he said, I'm going to have to look in the left side first to compare it. And I said, that's fine. So we looked at the left side. Oh my gosh, it was awful, guys. But when it got to the right side, it was uncomfortable. And he's like, is that uncomfortable? And I said, yeah, it's really uncomfortable. And then he just started making these do you know how doctors make those noises, and you're just sat there in the chair like thinking, are you going to tell me what's going on up there? Anyway, yeah, then what happened next was he took it out, gave me a tissue to blow my nose, which I couldn't blow it anyway at that point. But yeah, I'd noticed like little droplets were coming out of the right side. And he said, well, for starters, you've got quite a big nasal polyp up there. And I'm like, right. And he's like, he's going to need surgery. And I'm like, I hate hospitals, guys. One thing you probably don't know about me is I have got a massive fear of hospitals. I've never hardly been in hospital. I've been in hospital a few times with my epilepsy when I've had seizures. I've been in hospital a few years ago when they thought I had breast cancer, so I was in hospital with that. And then nothing. I've not had children, so I've not been in hospital with that. I've not had a lot of overnight stays. I've not had any broken bones or anything like that, so there's been no need for me to be in hospital. I think this stems back to my dad dying when I was like 7 years old and me seeing him in hospitals. So, you know, I think it's that. But anyway, I really don't like hospitals. I've definitely not had a lot of surgeries. I had some endoscopy surgery on my cysts on my ovaries because I've got polycystic ovary syndrome. Anyway, I'm digressing and going off the subject. He then said, I can't see what's behind that polyp because it's quite a big one. And I said, right. I said, well, I just looked, and he said, I can't rule out there being any tumours or any growths at this point. And I'm like, right, so what happens now? And he said, the first thing we need to do for you is book you in for a scan. And he said it could take a while. He said it could take 4 or 5 weeks, just purely because they're backed up. But on this letter, it says, in view of this finding, I have booked her for an urgent CT scan. We'll review her with the report. I have suggested steroid nasal spray, but she says that she's tried them all in the past and has not helped her, which it didn't help. What's the point in getting a new one if the previous one didn't help. So that is kind of where I'm at the moment. So I should have more of an update for you in the next couple of weeks, I should imagine, in how the CT scan went, what they said when I went back to the ear, nose and throat specialist, and when I'll be having surgery. I really don't want this surgery, but I know I have to have it. It's really, really uncomfortable. It's like I said to him, the ear, nose and throat specialist, he asked me to describe it, to describe how I felt, and I said the only thing I can tell you is I feel uncomfortable in my own skin. And I am just so nervous, guys, because he couldn't rule out nasal and sinus cancer at that point. And I know it doesn't mean that I've got it, but it doesn't mean that I've not got it either. What they need to do is the scan. They need to look where the polyp is, and they need to look around the polyp, and then they'll know for sure, and they'll know what they're dealing with. But in the meantime, I'm sat here in my own head really, really worrying about it. I mean, having surgery on a polyp is bad enough, but kind of then thinking, have I got cancer? It's just a lot that I'm dealing with at the moment, and this is kind of why the videos have been all over the place. I used to do lives on Monday, Wednesdays and Saturdays. I've not done a live now in nearly 4 weeks, and then also my videos, you're not getting to see my videos as much, but I'm trying to put shorts up daily, just so you're getting to see some content from me. I just wanted to give you this update. I did think about just putting it on my community tab. I feel like, as my subscribers and supporters, I feel like you deserve to know what's going on with me health wise, and that way if I can't film videos, you'll be kind of more understanding, I guess. I know that you guys are understanding anyway. I just wanted to put that video out there for you guys to know the situation, and when I can, I'll obviously give you updates. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.